Police have released dramatic video of the recent Canal Street shootout with a suspected robber and gang member. 5 bystanders were hit in the crossfire.
Police Chief Sean Ferguson said that while the case is still under investigation, it's possible that 3 of the 5 innocent victims were shot by officers returning fire. Investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein has the story, and we should warn you again that footage is intense.
At 3:40 south on Canal and Elk.
What would quickly become a chaotic and bloody scene began as a textbook stop of a robbery suspect on Canal Street. Plainclothes officers tailing the suspect call for a marked unit to make the stop. As this crime camera video shows, suspect Reginald Bursey fires at a uniformed officer almost immediately after being confronted.
Within seconds, he started firing at our fully uniformed officers without hesitation.
The officer falls down but avoids being hit, but a 17-year-old girl is shot in the leg.
New Orleans Police Department officers were dealing with a very dangerous and desperate individual willing to do whatever it took to avoid capture.
The video captures a running shootout as Bursey bolts past a busy bus stop on Elk Place. This is where 3 more bystanders are hit in the crossfire. An RTA bus video shows one of the victims as he falls.
It is possible that 3 of those individuals may have been struck by bullets fired by our officers, attempting to defend themselves and others while being repeatedly fired at.
After the shootout with police here on Elk Place, the suspect turns the corner, runs down Cleveland, briefly losing the officers, allowing him to set up an ambush in front of Tulane Hospital. After turning 2 more corners, Bursey opened fire on officers again. Now joined by a state police trooper, the officers responded, killing the suspect.
These officers were very fortunate because they had no idea. They were very surprised to find this individual in the bushes. They were unsure where he had actually evaded to. He had no intention on surrendering peacefully.
Mike Pearlstein, Eyewitness News.